So the EPC, since the start of Russia's aggression against Ukraine, has published many publications on the significance of what Fabian called this watershed moment for the EU and for the world, warning of the need to wake up to the scale of the challenge it poses right across the foreign and, if I may call it that, domestic arenas. We're going to be looking into many aspects of those challenges during the course of today and consider what the EU can and should do to respond to this new era of global power politics, to avoid, as Herman put it so eloquently, being doomed to stand by powerless. And we're going to start with the biggest and most important of all, the invasion itself and its devastating impact on Ukraine. We have two speakers who are going to speak to us in this session. We are hoping to be joined shortly, but they're coming from Ukraine, so there are some technical challenges, by Ihor Zhovkva, who is Deputy Head of the Office of the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. We are also joined by His Excellency Matti Maasikas, Head of the EU Delegation to Ukraine. And I think we're still waiting for Ihor Zhovkva. So if that is still the case, then let us go first to Matti Maasikas, who I believe is already with us online. Sir, are you there? And can you hear me?
Yes, very much so. I can hear you loud and clear. It's a beautiful sunny morning in Kiev, and there are no air alarms.
Please go ahead.
Good morning, and my sincerest congratulations to the EPC, the Brussels think tank, and also may I say that it's a great honor to speak after Herman van Rompuy, the president. I handed over my credentials in 2011, and coming to Brussels. I hope you are all fine, Mr. President, and the books and haikus keep coming. Search for a geopolitical EU is old, of course, and it hasn't come easy. For geopolitics mainly consists of geography and history, and we all know well that we don't discuss history among member states in the EU, for the simple reason that the 27 member states have so much history among ourselves that if we start discussing that, we will not be able to discuss much else. And also it comes to the legalistic nature of the European Union. When a partner country comes to us and says, hey, we want to be your friends, the EU's response is, well, what's the legal basis? It is in our nature, and the truth is also that we have thought for quite long that we can afford this. We can't anymore, and we are learning it the hard way at the moment. In 2019, when Ursula von der Leyen's commission took office, it declared to be a geopolitical commission. Not everybody was 100% convinced.
Let's go for continued EU harmonization and joint EU action.
Sorry, we have a little bit of an interruption on the line, but we are clearing it. Apologies, Ambassador.
No problem at all. But here we are. The EU is acting in a geopolitical way because there is no other way. There is war in Europe. There is an aggression by a nuclear state in Europe. And the first thing we learned while becoming geopolitical is that geopolitics entails choosing sides. There is no way around it, which means we are recognizing, we are saying, and we are acting on Ukraine's side. And being and acting on Ukraine's side means we work for Ukraine's victory. No ifs, no buts, no let's balance here and there. Ukraine's victory is what counts, because there is a European state that is fighting for its survival. It is existential. We have been able as the EU to act pretty much along these lines. With our hospitality towards the Ukrainian refugees, with the unprecedented sanctions, I really hope, as a side remark, I really hope that de-swifting will be the word of the year of the Financial Times this December. We have provided 500 million humanitarian assistance, 3.1 billion assistance in weapons. Have given so far 6.7 billion euro macro-financial assistance. We have abolished all tariffs and quotas from Ukraine's import to the EU. And most importantly, we have opened the European perspective to Ukraine. We have welcomed Ukraine as an EU candidate status. And this is being seen, understood, and reflected in the Ukrainian society. 90% of Ukrainians believe that in 10 years' time, Ukraine will be a wealthy nation and EU member state. So the European Union symbolizes hope for Ukrainians in these dark hours. So are we there? Is the geopolitical is becoming geopolitical now fully on track and irreversible? Unfortunately, not yet. There are still some ifs and buts. There are still, we still say, or some of us still say, we are with Ukraine as long as it takes. This it needs to be replaced with victory, to be absolutely clear.
Thank you, Ambassador. I'm going to have to ask you to be very brief because we also have the President's office waiting, and I'm not sure how long we can keep them for, sir.
We should follow Jean Monnet's famous lesson of also not only acting, but also institutionalizing things that we do. All the decisions I listed earlier this year were ad hoc decisions. Need to institutionalize them. And the hopefully forthcoming decision on providing 18 billion macro-financial assistance for the whole year of 2023 would be a good first step. We should look into a next step. I mean, opening the European perspective and granting the candidate status is excellent. Opening of accession negotiations, if it comes to that, would put the whole Ukrainian integration process in a much more steady institutional ground. The enlargement policy, I don't think there are many people who think that over the last 15 years, with the glaring example of Croatia joining, has been as swift and as quick as we had hoped. Geopolitics also entails not only choosing sides, but being clear that we want other countries to be on our side. So let me finish by expressing hope that Ukraine's accession process also has the potential to re-energize our enlargement policy. Thank you very much.
Ambassador, thank you so much for being with us this morning and for your words. And we will discuss that way forward, those next steps that you talk about with our panel. We are immensely grateful to you for joining us today. Thank you so much. And we also have with us Ihor Zhovkva, who, as I said, is Deputy Head of the Office of the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. I hope he will magically appear on our screen now. And we can hear from him. And then I'm going to introduce our panel to discuss the way forward. Good morning, sir, and a very warm welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all, Honorable President Van Rompuy, dear ladies and gentlemen, dear participants of the conference, colleagues, friends. First of all, congratulations. Congratulations on the 25th Jubilee of your wonderful institution, European Policy Center. It's a really pleasure and an honor and a challenge to speak before such a distinguished audience. But let me thank, first of all, for all the analytical job your institution is doing for my country, your wonderful research, which we always enjoy in Ukraine. You're covering many important topics for my country, be it reforms, be it European aspirations, be it, unfortunately, Russian aggression today. So thank you once again for all what you're doing. Today, the 1st of December, probably most of you are preparing for the Christmas holidays ahead of you. We today in Kyiv, in Kharkiv, in Dnipro, in Kherson, are preparing for a little event. We are preparing for yet another massive missile attack, which could happen today, right away as we speak with you, or tomorrow, or the day after tomorrow. Another more than 60 up to 100 missiles across the cities of my country, destroying critical energy infrastructure, thermal power plants, hydropower plants, depriving us from heat, electricity, water, and normal conditions of life, killing another Ukrainians, wounding another Ukrainians, and bringing us into what my president called a very difficult 90 days of this winter. But believe me, we will survive. We will withstand. And when, not if, but when we will survive this winter, we will become ever stronger, ever independent, and ever united with you. Russia is a terrorist state. It was clearly stated by the resolution of the European Parliament, by the NATO Parliamentary Assembly, by several individual parliaments of the European Union member states. It's high time for all the rest of the parliaments of the EU members to make such a resolution. Because it's only a terrorist state failing to succeed on the battlefield, just losing absolutely on the battlefield, tries the tactics of having the warfare against civilians, against women, children, shelling the playgrounds, schools, kindergartens, universities. So it's high time for all of us to understand this is a terrorist state and will always stay like even after our victory. We do all understand now that Russia definitely not the second strongest army in the world, like they claimed before this aggression. But what we also have to understand that we all have to stay united in order to defeat this, definitely not the second strongest army in the world, but definitely not the weakest army in the world. Today is 281st day of war. We stand, we survive, we make counteroffensives, we become stronger and stronger day by day, night by night. And Russia becomes weaker day by day, night by night. We always say about three main pillars of support to my country at these times of war. Pillar number one being weapons. And thank you for each and every European Union member state who provides us with state-of-the-art air defense systems, long-range multi-launch rocket systems, armored vehicles, tanks, ammunition. This is what we need now. This is what we needed to liberate our areas in the north of Ukraine, around Kharkiv in the east, and around Kherson in the south. But still, much of the territory of Ukraine is occupied. So we need weapon, weapon, and weapon. And we need it fast, fast, and fast. Pillar number 2 being sanctions. Thank you for all now 8 packages which European Union has adopted already against Russian aggressor. But this is far from being enough. That's why we need the 9th package of sanctions. Still not all banks are de-SWIFTed. Still not the Russian industries are sanctioned. Gas sector remains the issue. Nuclear energy sector remains the issue, because this is the nuclear sector of Russia, together with the armed forces of Russia, which are occupying now the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the biggest nuclear power plant in Europe. And now Ukrainian operators are operating this plant, each and every 6 units of this plant, under the guns of the armed forces of Russia. So once again, we ask you all, each and every member state, together with IAEA, to make everything possible for Russian aggressors, for Russian armed forces to get out from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and bring back this unit, this factory, this plant to the normal operation. And pillar number 3 being the financial support. Many thanks for the decision to have another macro-financial support for my country next year, 18 billion euros. That's what we need. Hopefully, we will show again the unity in the European Union and to make this final decision happen. And the first tranche to come in Ukraine as early as January. You've mentioned today the European aspirations of my country. Candidate status, right. It was more than technical, more than bureaucratic decision for my country. It was a moral raising decision, raising just, an understanding for Ukrainians that we are the same Europeans as you. That Ukrainian soldiers who are fighting in the trenches against Russian aggressors in the south or in the east, they do deserve to be the same Europeans as Belgians, as Germans, as French, as Poles, as each and every 27 member of the European Union family. And those Ukrainian mothers and children hiding in the shelters from the Russian missiles want their children to be in the European future rather than in the Russian past, in the European Union rather than in the USSR 2.0, or whatever they call the new unity which now Russia is forming with the Belarus and hoping to attract Ukraine as well, which will never happen. But right you are, this is only the beginning, and we are now, despite the war, we are fulfilling 7 recommendations provided to us by the Commission. And yes, upon fulfilling these recommendations, we do want next steps for Ukraine, which is opening accession negotiations. That's why we count on the Commission. That's why we count on the Council. That's why we count on each and every member state to open for us such a perspective, to start the early assessment process for Ukraine, not to wait to next October. We don't have time. We count day by day, night by night, because each and every day and night people are dying. So please don't create artificial obstacles, thinking periods, reflection periods. We simply don't have time for this. And here the role of EPC is very important. Please have it in your narrative. Ukraine deserves to be evaluated on its merit-based approach. We proved to all of you that we can work fast, even in times of war. A questionnaire provided to us by the Commission was filled in within 1 month. With this same speed, we will not only fight against the aggressor, but we will fight on the battle of reforms, and we will bring ourselves even closer to the European Union, because for us, it's not simply membership. It's a matter of civilizational choice. We are fighting for this, we are dying for this, and we are ready to be with you. But after the win, we will have another challenges. We will have reconstruction in my country, post-war reconstruction. Now we're having the fast recovery. We are asking each and every member of the European Union to be already present in Ukraine, reconstructing the social infrastructure, kindergartens, schools, hospitals. And that's what practically every country is doing now. Thank you for each and every of you. Thank you to Brussels, to the Commission, which is doing this coordination thing. And together, we will definitely make my country after the victory even more modern, even more economically strong and prosperous. After this difficult winter period, after this difficult 90 days, spring will come. And definitely it will be much more encouraging and will bring much more good news. I'm absolutely sure about this. And I'm absolutely sure that in 5 years, we will celebrate your 30th Jubilee. Together, Ukraine will be a member of the EU, Ukraine will be a member of NATO, and together we will sit and think about future united Europe. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. And you charted how important the European Union and its support has been so far, but also those immense challenges ahead and what needs to be done to continue to support you. Our thoughts are with you. We salute your courage, and the EPC will work very hard on these issues and continue to work to help deliver that support that you need. Thank you so much for joining us, and all our very best wishes. Thank you very much.